So they had the hearing on 123 way back in the day, right? Almost 7 months ago. To hear, all parties were present. Evidence was heard. Plaintiff rested. So plaintiff rested her case on May 23. Respondent moved for a directed verdict. Legal agreement was heard. Court took under advisement to review evidence and legal briefs. Attorneys given until the 27th to file briefs. Respondent concluded, which is XQC, concluded his case. Parties agreed to bifurcate the trial, which means one trial for marriage, one trial for property. Final trial was set, and that shit kept getting pushed back. All right, what happened? What was Sammy's evidence? This was in May 27th. This was from the hearing on the 23rd. What was her evidence used against XQC? Now, I'm not about to read all of this. We're about to just go straight to the evidence because this is her brief that she submitted in attempts and hopes to get spousal support and lawyer fees, which is reprehensible. And if anyone supports it, you're crazy. Crazy. All right. And I'm going slow because if you want to pause it to go through it, you know, where she said, hey, we don't have the ability to pay or whatever, but he has the money and he should be paying us and we shouldn't be looking at any evidence but hers. Now, her lawyer was lawyering. That shit ain't right and that shit ain't fair, but people will support that. They'll support it like crazy. There we go right here. This is the line where they say disregard what he said. Even if the court holds Samantha to the prima facie standard, the court must only look at the evidence offered by her and disregard any evidence offered by XQC.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
As prima case is such and will prevail until contradicted and overcome by other evidence. That shit is horrible. At the hearing on the January 23rd, Adept presented the following evidence of each of the elements in which she proved that they were married. So here is her evidence of marriage. The agreement to get married, right? She testified that her and XQC had discussions in writing and by phone where they agreed to be married under Texas law in August 2020. Exhibit 3, okay? Discord messages showing the parties discussing common law requirements for her to gain entry into Canada without formal proof of marriage, which also shown on the August 25th, 2020. She and Felix had an hour-long phone call between 1:37 a.m. and 2:50. Petitioner's video. Remember the video where she said on a public stream that, you know, she broadcasted in late August or early September 2020, and which is still available publicly on her YouTube channel, explaining that she was legally admitted to Canada because she was in a common law relationship with XQC, and that she proved that to the Canadian authorities. Okay. Cohabitation. Samantha testified that her and XQC lived together in Texas beginning in 2018. She testified that they first stayed with friends, then rented a house there together, then built the house in where they resided together. Now we know the house was purchased solely by XQC. She also testified that the house in wherever is still designated as his house. In addition, her exhibit 2 is a lease showing the parties both listed on the tenants for the house. So this is them living together. So she's showing the first two. We discussed to get married and we live together. Now, the issue comes into play with holding out. Okay, guys, when you hold out as married, this is when you say, yes, we are married. She testified that her and XQC held themselves out as married to her family, which included her mother, her father, her brother, as well as her brother's girlfriend, on and after August of 2020. Further, she held herself out as married to the airline personnel in Texas to fly to Canada, as well as to the Canadian government officials to gain entry into Canada. All right. Petition 4 shows that immediately after the agreement to be married, she broadcast a video which publicly is available confirming she was a common law relationship. That video's still up, guys. Further, she testified that they both told XQC's family and their housekeepers that they were married, as well as telling at least one other friend in Texas. Okay. Which I suspect is the friend who testified that they were married. In addition, to her testimony, 2 of the witnesses provided testimony about their understanding that her and XQC were married. Okay. Which one, I believe, is her mom and one is a housekeeper. The party's housekeeper testified that her understanding of their relationship was that the parties were married. So Consuela said, yes, Mr. Felix is married. Okay. Mr. Felix is married. Okay. Sam's mother called herself Felix's mother-in-law. So when she stated her relationship to the parties and also testified that both her and the XQC and her told her that they were married and that due to the understanding that the parties were married, Sam's mother took steps as adding Felix to her car insurance and cell phone plans since she had never done that before for a dating partner of Sammy's, and that she did not take those steps until after the parties told her that they were married. Okay. In addition, there is circumstantial evidence to show that XQC's mother knew the parties were married, as XQC provided his mother's phone number to Sammy so they could have the Canadian authorities verify that XQC's mother knew they were in a common law relationship to allow entry into Canada in August of 2020. Because Samantha was granted entry into Canada as common law spouse, the evidence proves that Felix's mother confirmed her understanding to the Canadian authorities. Okay. So that's Sam's evidence. Let's get to XQC's lawyer's response to her evidence. So now that was her evidence. That's a recap. This is filed on the 27th. Now comes XQC. And they do a bunch of this case law up front to kind of prove that he shouldn't be paying her spousal support. And thank God the judge saw through the clear and obvious cash trap, because it was deemed she wasn't getting it, or lawyer fees for that matter. Sammy has failed to establish prima facie case as to the existence of marriage. And if you remember this, or maybe this is a refresher for you, no documentary evidence was offered that showed either party referring to the other party in writing or orally as husband and wife. To the contrary, the written communications between the parties during the period in which Sammy claimed the parties were married shows that they refer to each other as boyfriend and girlfriend. So I'm guessing these are the Discord messages. No documentary evidence was offered that showed the parties saying that they were married. So there's no taxes that they filed married or anything like that, a lease or a life insurance policy, if you will. In addition, the petitioner, Sammy, offered the testimony of only 3 witnesses: a housekeeper, her mother, and herself, in support of the existence of an informal marriage. And if you've been through a divorce, you know the mother-in-law will say anything to protect her daughter. So, however, the housekeeper testified that XQC never told her that they were married and never personally heard XQC refer to Adept as his wife. So the housekeeper's like, no. He never said any of that. Now, her mother testified, and I blocked out her name, stated in her testimony that she believed the parties were married. So she believes, her mom believes that they are married. However, she acknowledged that XQC never told her that. So why would you believe that they're married? You know why? Because her daughter said that they're married. Because we need her to believe that they're married. All right, let's keep going. And I love that he posted the questions. So he said, just to be clear, this is XQC's lawyer, I want to make sure I understand. XQC never told you that he and Sammy were married, correct? And her answer is no, not directly.
Nope.
No. Answer is just no. You can say not directly. Did he indirectly tell you?
Nope.
No. This is her mom getting questioned by his lawyer. He says, just to be clear, I just want to make sure I understand. XQC never told you that he and Adept were married, correct? She says, no, not directly.
What do you mean by that?
The only evidence offered as to XQC's purportedly acknowledging the existence of a marriage was his referring to her as esposa when talking to the maids, which translates to wife. And that he did not correct the maids when they would refer to her as his wife when talking to XQC. He never corrected him. Okay? Sammy, meanwhile, acknowledged that she only told a very small number of people that she was married. She could only identify 8 people to whom she told she was married. These people consisted of 5 family members, 2 housekeepers, and 1 friend. Petitioner further acknowledged that she kept the existence of the marriage secret from people other than the 8 people. So this, and they say, a secret marriage cannot be an informal marriage. All right. Which she is trying to sue for informal marriage. So there is all the evidence that was presented to the court prior to her asking to add new evidence. So let's get into some new documents. Okay. And